Hey everybody, welcome back to Disaster at DA. I'm John. Um, it's the Allied turn 3, or we could call it D+2, June 8th. It's the, yeah, actually it's the Allied turn. Let me go ahead and flip this turn marker over to Allied. Solid. All right, so let me go ahead and pull the book out and we'll go by the official sequence of play. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So the sequence of play for the Allies is the initial phase was done for the Germans, Mulberry construction, supply points. Everybody got those supply points. German player, we did that. Now it's the Allied player turn. Allied replacement phase. Okay. Okay, Allied replacement phase. I already put the replacements on. And let's take a look because they're all denoted by the yellow replacement markers. And in the Commonwealth forces right here, we replaced a Canadian infantry unit right here. We upgraded that. They lost a step. We upgraded them so they get the replacement marker. And then right next to them, the Brits had an armor and an infantry. 2 units got replaced from losing a step. And that's the replacements for the Commonwealth. And let me go ahead and switch this over to the Americans. So the Americans over here, nothing on Omaha Beach. We'll talk about them in a minute. Just the 3 yellow replacement markers for the forces in the peninsula. What do we have right here? I think it was just, these guys were only 1 step, okay? It might have been, I'm not exactly sure, but it was infantry, or actually I stand corrected. This one right here, this little one right here, was an airborne 82nd Airborne replacement step. That unit can only go to 3-3. It can't be built up to full strength because they did lose a step permanently. And these guys, 4th Infantry Division right here, 4th Infantry, it might have been 2 armor steps. These 2 would be armor or infantry. I'm not sure. One of them may have gotten both. Who knows? So that's the replacements for the Allies. Now we're going to go to the Allied movement phase. So what do I want to talk about here? For the Allied movement phase, they get their reinforcements. Now remember, we just dealt with replacements. Now these are Allied reinforcements. And we'll talk about the Americans first. There go the tweezers. Because I just put these on. For the Americans, the reinforcements are going to be the remainder of 9th Infantry Division. Part of them are already landed right here in this stack. And under that is going to be the beginnings of the 2nd Armored Division coming on. So you're going to see 2nd Armored coming on in mass next turn. So that's the reinforcements for the Americans. Let's flip it on over back to the Commonwealth for their reinforcements. And Commonwealth reinforcements are coming on Gold Beach. Right here you would have the last remaining unit of the 52nd Infantry Division. And then we have, I don't know if this is starting the 7th Armored. Are those the guys at Desert Rats? Who the hell knows? I don't know my British units that well. And now we need to talk about the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about something I've never done in this game before. And we're going to do it now. And if I can get to it. Flipping pages. Beachheads, mulberries, and evacuations. Because evacuation is what we're going to do. Let me go ahead and move the camera. Okay, so we're focusing on Omaha Beach, where we will be doing an evacuation. Let's just read up on evacuations real quick. During the movement phase, which we're beginning right now, an allied unit may move from an open beach hex, and define open. Open is if you have an engineer on the beach. Okay, I learned that the hard way a couple of turns ago. You can move from an open beach hex to an in Britain card by expending its entire movement allowance. It may evacuate while in an EZOC, which they are. Up to 2 units, any size, may evacuate per turn from each beach hex. Now that's from, okay, let's read that again. Up to 2 units, any size, may evacuate per turn from each beach hex. This does not cost replacement points. Units may blah, 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 blah. Now, this is interesting. Units may land at a beach hex at the same time that units are evacuating from the beach hex. So theoretically, I could bring intact American units on the beach as I land the two. But you know what? I'm not even going to do that. We're just going to evacuate this beach. We can't dislodge the 12th SS. We just can't do it. So we're gonna evacuate them to the in Britain card, and then we're going to just bring them in on Utah. That's the decision the Allied Supreme High Command has made. And I just learned this right here while rereading it, and may evacuate up to 2 units from each beach hex. So let's go ahead and evacuate. Let's get out of here. 2 units from each beach hex. All right, so we're going to look at Charlie Dog. That cadre and that armor are going to bounce out of there. And from this hex, the cadre, we have 2 cadres. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cadres out of here, and we're just, looks like we may be abandoning this armor on this beach. And as far as the engineers are concerned, they're going to stay right here. Okay. So we've abandoned them and moved back to the holding box. I don't know if they need to. Well, it did specifically say go to the in Britain card. Is that what it said? Blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. I'm on the wrong page again. You're on the wrong page again. And beach to the in Britain card. Okay, so these guys are going to they're not going to this holding box. They're going to the in Britain card. So I'm going to put them up here, back on the card. Not the holding box, on the card. All right, fantastic. All right, so now we move into the Allied movement turn. I want to look at the air power thing going on right here. Let's see what it says before I do anything. Air support, offensive air support on turn up until turn 17. So that's offensive air support for ground attacks. Then you have defensive air support, which we're not concerning this because that's during the German turn. And here's what I'm really looking for: strafing. Strafing occurs only in Allied combat phase, so we're not going to worry about that because that's Allied combat phase. Interesting. All right, so let's move this back to the let's move this over to Sword and Juno. Okay, so we've got a good shot of Sword, Beach, and Juno. And the first thing to notate here is that these paras, their supply, in the recovery phase, these paras are going to lose the British paras are going to lose their supply. Theoretically, they may be on supply too, the red side of those, but those markers are going to be coming off because there is no ZOC bond between this German unit because the strong point does not exert a ZOC. So there is no ZOC bond. Plus, these guys are going to move off the beach. So let's get about the business of moving right to left for the whole Allied beachhead. Let's bring units aboard. Let's make this happen. So let's see what we have right here. This is the Allied movement phase. So these guys are coming off the beach. Ooh, they only have a cadre. That cadre's not coming off the beach. Yikes. And the engineers aren't coming off the beach. Why didn't I build that guy up? I should have built him up instead of that other Canadian, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, this guy, he's going to move, what, tactical movement? Again, the strongholds have no Zoc. So he's just going to move here. And this armor is going to move on top of him. And look at this. I knocked this German. I like to keep my guys straight. Pretty anal about that. All right, so this anything that we can do to get the Brits off the beach, man. All right, so these guys are going to stay here. They're going to stay here, the engineer and that. And actually, we will move them over to over here. Okay, and look what we have here. We've got 2 infantry brigades and 2 armored units. So how about we do something with them? Let's bring them on the beach. See you on the beach. All right, so one of these guys is going to go here, and he can go 2 hexes to right here. He's going to take armor with him, and this guy's going to land on the beach right here. Very nice. Very nice. And what we're going to have to do is both of these guys are going to get a regroup because they came on the beach and they're in a German zone of control. Is that correct? Well, this one is not in a zone of control. But you know what? I'm going to put a regroup on him anyway, and we'll see. We'll read up on what they can and cannot do in the Commonwealth attack phase. So that's it for Sword Beach right there. And keep in mind, any unit that have replacement markers, they cannot attack. And it says right on the top, no combat. You can move 1 hex maximum. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and move. I'm going to go ahead and slide over on the Commonwealth beaches. All right, so we're looking at there's no units to bring in from Juno, if you notice, but there are units on Gold that need to come ashore. All right, let's see what we can do here. Now, between these 2 German units, this recon unit right here and the 2 units from the 352nd, they have a strong Zoc bond. They can't move through there. So let's go ahead and move these 2 guys over from the 51st. They're going to move right here. And theoretically, there may be an attack on that hex that has the recon. Let's see if we can get some armor over there. Okay, so right here we have a headquarters, and I'm sure there's an engineer under there. Excuse me. All right, and what we're going to do is we're just going to move these 2 guys. They're going to land here. And this guy's going to move right here. They're not in a German zone of control, so I don't feel like I need to put a regroup marker on there. But I will, just to denote that they have come ashore. And if they they're not going to get in a battle, but I will read up on what regroup exactly means. I think it's if you come ashore and you're in a German zone of control, but I will double check that for all those units that sport that mark. As far as, so it looks like there's going to be an attack right here on these guys. Yeah. Now here's an interesting thing. I forgot. What about these units right here? These guys, remember, this strong point does not have a zone of control. So in effect, this whole group can move into this breach right here. Move right past them. Let's see what we have. Okay, we got various units right here, and they can move right here. Okay, they can move right there, and looks like this 4-5 is going to, well, actually, it's 2 German units right here. Looks like they're going to come under attack. And that does it. But let's see what's under these guys right here. There's obviously a headquarters and a engineer in, oh, this 336 Canadian. Can we move him up? Can we move him up? Let's go ahead and just move them one. Put these guys back. Engineers and headquarters. All right, so that's your pretty modest movement for the Brits right now. Let's see what let's move down to these British paras down here. And since the last video, I have thrown out of supply markers on them. Now the question is, what the hell do you do with these guys? I've thrown out of supply on them, and this unit right here, he lost a step. I wanted to, during the replacement phase, to throw a para replacement on them, but if you're out of supply, you can't put replacements on. And I'm like, why are these guys? Why don't they have out of supply markers, which they are obviously out of supply? So I went and placed those on right before I started filming today. And what are these guys going to do? They can do basically tactical movement if they're out of supply. Do I have that right? Out of supply penalties, movement, the unit, must use tactical movement. So what do they want to do? They're sitting in here adjacent to Lair, and that can't be good. But where do you move them to? Because if they move towards the ocean, you're just going to move towards German lines. And what is their mission? Is their mission to stop German armor from getting to the beachhead? That's probably what their mission is. So I guess they want to link up with the Brits coming up. So let's go ahead and move them tactical. Both of these guys are going to come off this hill. 1, 2. These guys are going to go 2. And these guys are going to go 2. Theoretically, they can link up. Well, let me just see if I can get everything in the shot, what I'm about to talk about. All right, so here's the plan. Apparently, when they launch when the Brits launch an attack on this hex right here, the idea is that these paras can link up with these British units moving towards Caen. At least that's the plan. They may those paras may get annihilated in the meantime, but who knows what's going to happen. All right, let's move on to the American areas. All right, so right there you have a shot of Omaha Beach. All you have is armor that's pretty much been abandoned and a small contingent of engineers. It really doesn't. They could land some full strength units there, but I mean, why? Well, they're just getting the asses handed to them, and they're not going to land units there. There's no hope of any other Allied unit coming to their rescue, so to speak. So I think they're just going to totally abandon it if those 2 units don't get totally killed this turn. But anyways, off to the peninsula. All right, so here we are, the peninsula. Landings from Utah Beach are going totally smoothly. And the only thing that's going to keep the Allies from doing a total breakout this turn, they do have quite a few units there that are under replacement. They still should be able to make progress. And let's get some movement going on. Plus, they're going to bring on even more units. And they're going to start bringing on like the 2nd Armored Division. It's going to be crazy. So let's see what we can do. We want to maximize getting units to the front line. And then next turn, when these replacements are all incorporated, it's going to be a bum rush. All right. And let's see what else we can do. Actually, we're going to bring this unit from the 101st, which was on that 4-4. We're going to move them down. We're actually going to move them down. They're going to do tactical movement. to right here. Okay, they left a zone of control, but if they do tactical, they can move 2 hexes. Because I simply want to reunite this 101st with his comrades down here on the southern edge of the beachhead. So, anyways, and then let's see what's under this stack right here. We want to get armor moving to the front. So we have your basic engineer that nobody can see unless I move my hand. And is there any armor under here? No way, Jose. There's no armor. So we do have armor under the replacement stacks. So I guess we'll move fourth division. We'll just Zoc to Zoc right here. Okay, to kind of get them out of the way. And then we're going to move these guys right here, which is the 9th division is coming on. And they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So going on Bocage should be like 1 movement point, right? Bocage 1, yeah, it is 1 movement point. So they stayed away from that stronghold. Maybe a follow-up unit will blow that stronghold away. They went 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. And then now these guys are coming on again. It's another 101st unit. He's going to come on and go right here to be with his comrades. All right. That's 4 full-strength units of the 101st. All right. And now these guys, another unit from the 9th Division is going to go, he's going to land and go right here. Actually, they're just going to land. And he's got the leading element of 2nd Armored is going to come right here. And we're going to put a regroup on them. Where's the regroup? Yeah, we're going to throw a regroup on those 2 guys. And I'm just going to leave the engineers in the headquarters right there. So that really doesn't look like they've moved powerful units up. Well, they're all under the replacement. The armor for this area is all under the replacement stacks. So this might be a time when the fighting is going to be led by the paratroopers. Yeah. Which one did I move in? I moved one of these guys. One of these, I don't know which one. Like out of this one and this one, I'm not sure which one I already moved. But they're gonna sit there. They're gonna sit there. This guy would like to move in here, but that's a Zoc bond. Maybe we'll do an attack from the 82nd to clear this unit out. I think what's going to happen is because of the replacement stacks, I don't think the Allies are really going to take it to them this turn. Maybe they can attack some of these strong points. We'll see what happens. So let's just take a quick look around. I'm going to pan the beaches and we'll see what happens. So that's the peninsula. All Allied movement done on the peninsula. There's Omaha Beach, where 4 units have evacuated the beach. And there's the Commonwealth beaches, where they're setting up for attacks, mainly on this recon unit right there in front of Bayou. They're gonna attack that. They're gonna bring everything to bear: naval, air force, the whole ball of wax. And we're going to bring attacks over here on the Germans to move towards Caen, and we're going to take those supply markers off. Those guys are now in supply. And then the Paras down here, they want to link up and move north as the Brits move towards Caen and link up with those guys. And that is going to do it for the Allied movement phase. All right, I'll see you guys next time on the Allied combat phase. All right, ciao.